never gotten a fax before, but I'm getting a fax right now. So we'll just wait for that to wrap up. Hey guys, what's up? It's Tess. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry I've been MIA. I was in Santa Barbara for a wedding last weekend, and then this week has honestly just been, I don't know. It's been kind of a struggle, just one of those weird weeks. I'm onboarding at my new job and it's just a lot of new information. I'm honestly loving it so much, but it's just, again, so much new information, and sometimes I just have these pinch me moments where I'm like, am I really doing this? And it's just, I don't know, kind of a lot to take in. I've also been sick this week, so I've had so many video ideas that I've been writing down. So I'm just really excited to film for you guys today. I've never had as many comments as I have this past week from you guys, so it honestly warms my heart to see so many of you comment saying you're starting school this week and that my videos have been helpful. That honestly means the world, and that's why I do this. I also had a really sweet DM this week from someone who was kind of wondering about the logistics of having a career as an esthetician. So all of those things combined inspired this Q&A. So I'm going to be answering a few questions that you guys have left for me, just because they're really good questions that I'm sure more of you have been wondering about, and I thought it would be fun to respond in a video. So I hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you do. Don't forget to subscribe. It would honestly mean so much to me, and I love growing this community. I feel like I'm actually like a real YouTuber right now. And just to see comments from people who aren't my boyfriend or my mom. My mom actually doesn't even know how to leave comments. Need to teach you how to do that, Mom, if you're watching. But anyhow, all of you mean so much. So thank you for your support. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay guys, so I'm going to go through some of the questions that you guys left. I screenshotted them, so sorry I'm looking at my phone. Okay, so the first question is from Mia Jezel. Hey Mia. And she said, I start SD school the 22nd. Any advice and tips? This emoji where he's like, and she said, I'm super excited but also nervous. So Mia, my tip for you is to just remember that everyone is in the same boat. And I honestly do remember it being somewhat awkward in the beginning, starting school. Not awkward, it was actually kind of cute. We were just all so nervous and naive. And I don't know, just remember that nobody really has friends yet, even if it seems like the people around you are kind of like forming close friendships. I do kind of remember that happening. Don't be nervous, just remember you're there for you, you're there for your career, and the friendships will come along the way if that's your concern. So don't worry about being alone, because everybody came there on their own and you're there to learn. So if ever you're kind of overwhelmed, just focus on school and just focus on what you're learning. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Again, nobody knows anyone, so it's not weird if you talk to the person next to you or ask them to get their number so you can, I don't know, reach out if you have any questions about class, something like that. So don't be nervous, just be yourself, and remember you're all in the same boat. That's my advice. Okay, so Carla Farrow asked, hey, I was wondering what the requirements for the school you went to were. And yes, Carla, I can break those down for you. So, depending on the state you live in, there are certain hour requirements that you need to complete. So you're going to clock in most likely every day and at the end of every class. For me, it was 600 hours in the state of California, and so that may change depending on where you live. There are also certain points required for your practicals, so I'm going to just read some of the requirements, or actually all of the requirements that my school had. May be different again for you. So manual facial and facial extractions, 75 points, so typically 1 point for every little extraction you do. Next, there's a tier for chemical facials, which includes enzymes, chemical facials, and exfoliation. So I think it was a point for every type of enzyme, chemical facial, or exfoliation that I did. So in total, 75 points again. And these do add up. Just think about, you're probably gonna have 2 clients on 1 client day. At my school, we had 2 client days. So in 1 week, you have probably 4 facial opportunities to get those points. And so if you're doing an enzyme peel in your facial, that's a point. If you're using like a rotary brush for your exfoliation, that's another point. And it would be another point for the overall chemical facial. So it does add up. My tip here would be to be proactive in terms of grabbing clients. In the beginning, we were all very timid. It's very strange in the beginning, honestly, at least it was for me, to just have that intimate moment with your client. You're touching their skin. You're both honestly very vulnerable, so I understand it's scary, but honestly, just raise your hand if your teacher is asking for somebody to volunteer for a facial, because you're there to learn. The clients understand you're not totally a professional esthetician at this point, and at the end of the day, you need these points. My class, we were all kind of scrambling, honestly, towards the end to get our points. It all worked out, but every day counts, so just make the most of it. And let's see, electrical facial is another tier. And so that included microdermabrasion using a rotary brush specifically, desincrustation, which is when you're softening the sebum for extractions, and iontophoresis, high frequency, using a vacuum, which is like a little glass tool, the skin scope, and then a Woods lamp. That's 100 points for the whole electrical facial tier that you need. The next tier is waxing, which is 50 points. And for us, typically it worked out like legs were 2 points, I believe, and it was like 1 point for each individual eyebrow. So totally different depending on where you go to school. Tweezing, super easy, point for every hair, honestly, I think it was. So tweezing was pretty easy. You need 25 points there. Makeup, 50 points. This was one of the more time-consuming processes. And for us, we had like a daytime look was 1 point, and a nighttime point was another. A nighttime look was another point. So you did have to do full looks to get the 1 point. So we ended up spending a lot of time on makeup. I would actually bring my phone in my headphones and watch makeup tutorials. Jaclyn Hill, Desi Perkins, James Charles, all my peeps. I would just kind of like hole up alone and work on my mannequin. In the beginning, we worked on each other doing makeup, but it's kind of just, I don't know, very congestive pancake makeup, literally. So we all kind of shied away from the makeup since we wanted our skin to be nice. So just working on the mannequin is easier, also because you don't have to trade off and have one person giving up their time where they could have been earning points. So that's why we use the mannequin. And then the last tier is eyelash application. This was also pretty tricky. Our teacher asked us to switch off between individual lashes and lash bands. Individual lashes are definitely time consuming. It takes about 20 minutes per eye. I mean, you can make it go faster, but if you want to do a really nice job, and our teacher was pretty picky. Our TA was also pretty picky in how she liked to see the eyelash application. So just keep in mind that the makeup, the lashes, and the waxing are kind of the more time-consuming things. So if you can squeeze in your tweezing while you do your waxing, that's a little inside tip. And maybe when you're doing like chemical facials, you make sure to use different gentle enzymes so you get more points. I don't know, just kind of little secrets. Keep in mind your points do matter. Okay, the next comment was from Caitlin. Caitlin, you are such a superstar on my channel. I acknowledge you. I appreciate you so much. I love you, girl. Thank you for all your support. It's so sweet. You said, I would love if you could do a video about what to prepare for SD school. I start in November and your videos are making me so excited. I wanted to know what to bring and buy as far as school supplies go. Girl, you know I got you and I already filmed that. So if you guys are wondering what kind of school supplies to bring aside from what's in your kit, I do have a video on that. Those are just kind of like lifestyle items that I think make your time in SD school more comfortable. I also have a video on what is in my SD school kit. So if you guys are interested, I'll link both of those below. Might be kind of fun to see. I remember opening up my kit when school started, and that's something to look forward to. It is really fun. The next question was, hey there, for SD school, did they require an iPad or a laptop of any sort? How did you take notes in school, and would an iPad or laptop be beneficial for school? My answer is honestly no, because you are carrying so much stuff. You're carrying your kit, you have your backpack with your binder, just so many supplies you need to bring every day. I don't think you need a laptop or an iPad. One of my best friends in school, Jackie, always brought her iPad because that's how she liked to take notes. I'm the type of person where I like just a good old-fashioned piece of paper and pen. Nobody actually in my class brought a laptop. The teacher didn't say anything like we couldn't, but I feel like it would have been distracted to hear the keyboard clicking, so I don't think your teacher would love that, honestly. And another point there is that it's, I mean, at least where I went to school, it's community college, just any public space. It's kind of, I don't know, just a risk to bring something as expensive as a laptop or iPad. You do have your locker, but I remember there was one point in school where some things were stolen out of the room while we were in the lab, and from that point forward we were always really careful about locking the classroom. But it's just one thing I don't think you need. It's a hassle to carry, and just short answer is no, I don't think you need that. The next comment is from Samantha Jean, and she asked, what kind of extra classes did you take outside of school? Really good question, Samantha. So we had someone from kind of like an advanced institute outside of the school come in and give a presentation, and we were all, I remember, just so in awe of her while she was speaking. The teacher had a medical background as a nurse. She's owned her own spa. She's worked in education. She's also an esthetician. She's my esthetician now and kind of a mentor to me. So this person, Michelle Filon, came in and really inspired us. She gave us information about her outside classes, and I was really inspired to take them. So the classes I've taken are all right here. Treatment of acne, kind of like an advanced course in the treatment of acne, which is really helpful. Covers extractions and kind of like the 5 things you need to do to prevent and maintain good healthy skin so you don't get acne. Client skin assessment, so kind of assessing the skin properly when you do your consultation. I took a peels course, and it covered lactic, glycolic, salicylic, and Jesner's peels, which you do learn in school, but this was just kind of like another advanced class. And the last class I took was microcurrent for the face. There's one missing. I also took an ingredients course, which I will say I think is the most valuable outside class you can take. Jobs are really looking to know if you've taken that, and they will ask you what kind of outside classes you've taken. They always want to hear that you've taken an ingredients course, because it means you can look at the back of the label and understand kind of what things are, whether they're fillers, whether they're binders, whether they're carrier oils. And kind of working in clean beauty now, it's really helpful to understand which ingredients come from plants, and looking at other, like, I guess, standard products that include synthetics. It's really interesting to know the difference and kind of to pick out what's necessary, what's harmful, what's kind of a dirty ingredient. So just ranting, but yes, those are the outside classes I took that I found super helpful. It also helped me find my mentor, Michelle. I really want to stress the importance of mentorship. It's something so invaluable. So I just think only good things can come of taking outside classes. They usually do cost money, and they're about $150 each. You should be able to save your receipts and write them off if you do end up pursuing a career in aesthetics. But I think it really is a great investment if you do want to make this a career. And if you do end up getting hired, maybe those classes are something that your future employers will pay for if they really like you and want to invest in you. So there are definitely ways to get around money. Maybe you can just start school, have your first semester, and think about it later down the line once you kind of learn more. I also took these classes because I wanted to know if this was something I was really gonna love. And I feel like in school you learn the basics, but it was just really helpful to kind of dive in more depth. And the next few questions are from Bree Selby. Just wanted to give you a shout out. I hope you don't mind, but your DM was so sweet. I could tell you really were very interested in learning more, and she just sent me a really kind of long, heartfelt DM that I really appreciated. So Bree's questions were, let's just start with her part of her message. She said, I want to know the reality of being an esthetician. Can we honestly make a comfortable living doing this? Google told me the average Estie makes between $29,000 and $17,000 a year. Like what? I know depending on different jobs, you get paid differently. However, if need be, could you support yourself and a family? It's a really good question, Bree, and yes, there are ways to support yourself, and some people can actually make quite a good living as an esthetician. It's just a wide range, and it really depends on the hours you put in, what field specifically you are in, and just how hard you work, honestly. So it is up to you. I think you can have a good life, make decent money as an esthetician. It all depends on your business plan and your work ethic. I hope that's an okay answer. Her next question was, how competitive is this line of work? And I hope this gives you guys a little bit of hope, because I have found it's a career where you can find work. I wasn't out of school long. I decided I wanted to get my license first, and a lot of places do allow you to work in their spa without being an esthetician, not necessarily doing facials, but maybe you're assisting in another way. At the spa I work at, you are allowed to work on the floor, you're allowed to do mini facials, you're allowed to do makeovers without having your license. Excuse me, but for me, I wanted to get my license first. Immediately after that, I ended up reaching out to several different companies, and I was asked to come in and interview. And I think that just goes to show you do have to be proactive, but there's jobs out there for estheticians. That's just my experience. So if you come off as professional and hardworking and passionate about their spa, I think there's a very good chance you'll get hired. And another question she had was, if you have to relocate quite frequently, is this something that is realistic? Okay, in the same vein of what I was saying, I think you can find esthetician jobs wherever you go. Lots of spas have chains. There's spas in every city, so I do think it's a job that you can relocate for, as long as you're not starting your own business. And depending on a certain client base, I think you can find work in other cities as an esthetician. And Bree's last question was, what exactly can you do with your license? That's a very good question. And I remember when we started school, a lot of us were kind of confused about what an esthetician can actually do. So as an esthetician, without any kind of supplemental license, you can work on the top layer of the epidermis. That means you can do facials, you can do waxing, you can do peels, you can do makeup. You cannot do Botox because that is going beyond the epidermis. So anything that involves working on the top layer of skin, you can do. Lasers, Fraxel, IPL, all those things that are skincare based, but going beyond the epidermis and using lasers or needles, anything like that, you cannot do as an esthetician. I know it depends on the state you live in. I believe there may be a couple states where you can do Botox. So maybe that's something to consider. But in most cases, you will need to work with a dermatologist and be certified by them if you want to do different kind of procedures that go beyond the epidermis. Okay, this is the last question I'm going to do, so this doesn't get too long. Might have to make this a two-part series, but the question was, well, the comment was, I'm so glad I found your channel because I'm actually thinking about going to SD school at Skyline. Woo woo. I visited Aveda recently, but the price was a bit much for me. I'm not sure, is there a huge difference? So this is also a question I ask myself a lot. And I actually worked with a few SDs who did go to Aveda. And what they've told me is that there isn't a huge difference. They felt like their school supplied them with the basics, which is what every school should do. No school should really provide you a huge advanced education in skincare. The focus of most schools is giving you the basics again and getting you to pass your license. That's really the goal. That being said, the estheticians I do work with who went to Aveda are very professional, very, very good at what they do. So I don't know if they're just being humble and saying their fancy school was as good as my community college experience, but they do seem very skilled in what they do. But I can say the same thing for a lot of people who went to my school. The difference with going to community college, at least from my end, may be different from someone else's perspective, but I did feel like our machines were pretty standard, not the most up-to-date, but pretty good quality. I felt like that we were pretty conservative with supplies. Again, I don't know if that's different elsewhere, but it didn't necessarily feel like a luxury spa. It felt like a nice community college spa where most of our needs were met. I don't know, for the most part, it felt like everything we needed was available to us. There was one point in time where our peels were stolen by somebody in the class, and we weren't able to do the training on peels for a couple weeks. This is kind of a unique situation. This probably won't be your experience, but situations like that came up, I feel like wouldn't happen at Aveda. I feel like they would just give you the product. In a community college where things are more, resources are more scarce, I feel like, I don't know, there are just little idiosyncrasies that might be a little different. In the end, I got the education, and I think what matters most is you can get your license and motivate yourself outside of school to take outside classes and learn more in the different jobs you get. So that is it for my video. I hope this wasn't too long. If you have any more questions, please comment down below. I will just keep track of them all here and would love to do a second part to this series. So thank you guys so much for bearing with me. If you like this video, again, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you soon.